Helen, could you talk a little bit so we can see if we can hear you?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. Thanks for picking a nice picture of me.
You're welcome, no problem. We'll just wait until everybody else gets here, and then we'll do a little test, make sure everyone sounds good. And then, so in the meantime, you can just keep yourself on mute since we're live to attendees and live on Facebook at the moment. They can't see you. They can only see me and a screen. So you're okay. We don't want to hear you. Perfect.
Hey, Bushy.
Hi, Gail. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. We're currently live with our attendees on Zoom, and we're about to be live on Facebook. So if, Matt, if you want to pull up the video just so we've got a good angle. Yeah? Yep, we're live. Okay. All right. Yeah, Gail, you're good. Awesome. We're just checking for audio and for video. So now that I know that I can hear you and I can see you, are you able to get away from that window so it's not behind you?
Yeah, I'll just close the blinds.
Cool.
Like your shirt.
A little better?
Yeah, that's better. Yep, so you're good. So if you want to just mute yourself, and because they can't see you on video, but they'll be able to hear you. So just mute yourself and we'll be good from there.
All right, great.
Cool, thanks.
Actually, both of them here.
Yep. Ryan, Steve, hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. Just wanted to verify to make sure that we can hear you. We're currently live on Zoom and on Facebook. So if you would just mute yourself, they can't see you on video, but they can hear you on audio. So I'll let you know when we're ready to go. Steve, you good? Steve, if you could unmute so we can check audio, make sure you're good.
Chilling, brother.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Do we need the video?
You can just be muted and keep your video on because how we're running it, they won't see you until we start.
Okay. Is it weird that I can't see anybody else?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Hi, Bush.
Hi.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you and hear you. Yeah, we'll stay muted and I'll let you guys know when we're ready to go in a sec. Thanks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final session of our Illinois Wheelchair Basketball virtual camps. Thank you for everyone that's been with us all week in both our individual skills camp, in our premier camp sessions, and in our coaching clinic sessions. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, and so we really appreciate everybody taking the time out to join us, and hopefully you have enjoyed the content that we've been able to provide. And hopefully we'll be able to do some more virtual content like this for you coming up. For our last session of this camp, we saved the best for last. We've got a blockbuster panel for you guys of Alumni student athletes who have all had various experiences during their time here and during their time at Illinois. So we're going to get right into their Q&A here in just a second. Two reminders that we want you to keep in mind as we go through this. One, if you have any questions for our student athletes, we have allotted some time at the end to ensure that you have a chance to do that. So make sure you pop those down in the Q&A section, and we'll get to those towards the end of the call. And then as a reminder, for those of you who are joining us on Zoom, we'll be doing an Alumni Pack giveaway. So at the end of the call, Coach Bushy will come on and he will announce who is our winner and what information we're gonna need from you, okay? Get you all Alumni geared up after the camp. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this because we've got some outstanding student athletes, or former student athletes, I should say, on the call. And we wanna make sure that you guys can hear from them as much as possible. So what we're gonna do first is just have each of our athletes introduce themselves, talk about, say, where they're from, when they were at U of I, what they studied, and then what are you doing now? Where do you live and what are you currently doing? So we're gonna kick it off with Steve Serio.
Hey everyone, thank you Steph, thanks Matt for having us. It's good to see all your faces, especially in a time like this. You know, alumni and being a part of frat tradition at U of I is awesome. So thanks for having me. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Steve Serio. I'm the co-captain of the men's wheelchair basketball team for Team USA. I spent 5 years at U of I, but only played for 4 years, so basically 8 semesters. I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and I studied exercise science with a degree in gerontology. And I'm currently living in New York City, New York. And I'm currently still training, still looking to compete in Tokyo in 2021, while also working with a few national and international sponsors, increasing the reach of adaptive sports to all corners of the world, while also trying to promote wheelchair basketball in this country as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. It's great to have you. Gail. Oh, make sure you unmute yourself, Gail.
That's my bad.
Rookie move. Rookie move.
I know. Hi everyone. My name is Gail Gaeng. I attended the University of Illinois from 2011 to 2016. I was also a member of the 2016 Paralympic USA team in Rio and was able to bring home the gold medal there. I studied business at the University of Illinois, and right now, currently, I live in Chicago, and I work in healthcare financial tech company in client operations.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. Thanks for being here. Ryan.
Hey guys, my name is Ryan Neiswender, and I was at the University of Illinois from 2013 to 2017. I studied kinesiology and got my teaching certification in physical education. I'm currently in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My wife has an internship with General Mills, and I am training for 2021 now, Tokyo. I was a teammate of Steve's, and also we'll be moving to San Francisco here in October. I've taken a job with Visa after finishing my MBA.
That's awesome. Thanks, Ryan. And last but not least, Helen.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. I went to Illinois from 2010, 2015. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm originally from London in England. I studied kinesiology as my undergrad and then got my master's in business administration. I'm currently back in England in Sheffield and like Steve and Ryan training for 2021.
Awesome. Thank you, Helen. So excited to have all you guys here. This is kind of like a mini reunion for all of us, so that's really cool. We're going to jump into the next question, and it's to be the big question is, why did you choose Illinois? And if you could give us some reasons as to why you chose Illinois. This round, we're going to start with Gail.
Yeah. So, two main reasons why I chose Illinois was, first off, their business school at the University of Illinois is one of the top in the nation. I knew I was going to, set myself up for success after college. At some point, sadly to know, basketball does end. And so, I knew I wanted to become, get myself in the business world, create a future for myself. And then the second reason was the wheelchair basketball program obviously is an elite program, one of the best in the nation. And I had a goal of making Team USA and, bringing home a gold medal. And so the program really set me up for success as well in wheelchair basketball.
Awesome. Ryan.
Yeah, so I chose Illinois. I actually had a conversation before making my decision, even with Steve, and he just talked through like Illinois isn't for everyone because it has that difficult balance of a high priority on being a student as well as being an athlete. And I knew that in my high school years, I put a lot of time into making sure my academics were strong, and I wanted to maximize that. I also knew that there was just a rich history of previous alumni that have made it to the international stage, and that was a goal of mine. And so I think the combination of just the student and the athlete was so strong at the University of Illinois, and I wanted to be part of something special like that.
Love it. Awesome. Helen, love to hear about why you chose Illinois.
I think for me, there was two main reasons. I think there's obviously a big long list of student athletes from Illinois that have gone to represent their countries in the Paralympics and among some of the best players ever. And I think the other reason for me was I attended a camp about a year before I joined, and I think I just got the feeling that it was the right fit. I think when the coaches were really encouraging there, and I knew that I'd be challenged, and I really got that feeling from that camp. So I think that was probably the biggest two reasons for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Steve, what are your thoughts on Illinois and why you chose it?
Yeah. For two main reasons, and Gail, I'm going to question, you say that basketball is going to end one day as the token old guy on the team who's still playing. I don't want to hear that. So please don't say that again. But I chose U of I for a couple of main reasons. First off, it was the academics. The academic, they have a great exercise science and kinesiology program, and it was really important to me to focus on my academics and life outside of basketball. We spend so much time in the gym with our teammates, with our coaches, with our training staff, that I needed to have friends outside of that world. And U of I provided that opportunity for me to grow not only on the court, but off the court as well. And then also, because I'm the resident old guy on the team, Mike Frogley, who was my coach all 5 years when I was at U of I, he was a big part of my decision. I had a very close relationship with him, and he taught me a lot of who I am today, both off and on the court. So he was a big part of my decision to go to U of I.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Great answers. All similar reasons, but we all come to our decisions in different ways. This question is going to be directed to two of you guys. So what were your expectations when choosing Illinois? And then how do they compare to the reality of being a student athlete at Illinois? I think you guys have all mentioned that there's a balance between the two, and it's important to understand that. So Ryan, can you talk to just kind of what were your expectations, and then how did it compare to actually being here?
Yeah, I think one of the unique parts is that you get when you go to camp, each year, you kind of get a glimpse of what like the everyday life is for the athlete at the University of Illinois, between the chair skills, just the fundamentals that we work on. Like those are things that we progressively did during our time there to be the best team that we could be. And I knew that the academics were going to be difficult, but I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me of something that I didn't realize, but it happened at my time, was the network. When you're a part of a university that's so big and has had so many influential people, both just in the sport of wheelchair basketball, but just also in the business world, in the engineering world, in the kinesiology world, you name it, the network is huge. And that has carried me in my professional career long after my time at Illinois. And so that really surprised me. And I think you can really maximize your time at the University of Illinois by networking and just meeting some pretty incredible people along the way.
Absolutely. I think that you're exactly right. It's something that you don't think about before you go to school, but once you get here, you understand you're part of this like huge Illini family, not just an Illini wheelchair basketball family, but I think we have over 400,000 alumni. So it's a much bigger family than you anticipate. Helen, what about you?
I think for me, I thought, I was going to turn up, I'd turn into a good player and, I'd go to class sometimes. But I think really when I got here, like the whole experience showed me that I could be a lot more in every area, like, not just go to class to do well, but go to do really well, and not just, become a good player, but become the best player that I could be. And I think that was quite surprising to me because I never really had those expectations of myself before I came. And I think, like Ryan said, like, you become just like a massive family. Some of my best friends I went to school with there, not even just with the team, but from classes and stuff like that. And I agree with what Ryan said. Sometimes I'm just going through London and I see people with Illinois t-shirts on. So we're everywhere.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I love that the answer of just like the culture and the family that we have here at Illinois, and that it pushes you to be the best that you can be in so many different areas of your life. So thank you for those. And I want to jump in and start to ask a question to Steve and Gail. We know that on this call, we probably have a lot of junior players. They may be at a prep level, JV or varsity level, and it could be here in the States or it could be internationally. What advice would you give to a young athlete that's trying to decide where to go to college? Let's start with Steve on that.
Yeah, I've talked to a number of athletes kind of making this decision, with Ryan, being one of them. And, my advice is always the same, and it's twofold. It's, first off, don't be afraid to make a wrong decision. I know that because you can't really make a wrong decision. When I was going through the process, I know that I had, I was being pulled in multiple different ways. I had really good friends at Whitewater through the USA circuit. I had, my best friend was Mikey Pay, who went to UTA. And, it felt like a lot of pressure, but ultimately I knew I made the right decision because the values that U of I instills was the values that I saw within myself. And I know that that decision was made for me personally and no one else. And I'm so grateful to have gone to U of I. But the second piece of advice is just have fun. You're only going to go through this process once. Don't stress out about it. Don't feel anxious. Be grateful for the opportunity. Be grateful that this is going to be an awesome time in your life, and just enjoy the process.
Yeah, making the choice is definitely an experience, and yeah, you definitely want to enjoy the process for sure. Gail, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I would say the thing that, the advice I give to people when thinking about choosing a college is kind of making sure that you're weighing each part of the decision carefully. It's really easy when you're young and you're all about basketball and you love playing every day just to think, what type of basketball school do I want to go to? But then you also have to think about academics. And then the third part is what type of college feel and college lifestyle atmosphere that you want. I knew I wanted to go to a Big Ten university. I love the feel of that. I love, kind of being part of the program and of a big school. So, you can't put too much weight on just the basketball or just the academics. it's kind of got to be across board, and weighing them kind of equally.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gail. Thanks, Steve. I think one of the things, you know, as I'm talking to a young student athlete and they're trying to go through that process too, I think, you know, what Steve and Gail said was spot on. And it's something that I think we always remind young athletes of, is that, you know, there are certain things that you should be thinking about that aren't just basketball, that are values related, that are school related, and to ensure that the school that you choose is going to, one, you're going to be happy there, and it's going to set you up for that success that you want after. So thanks, Gail. Thanks, Steve. We're actually going to stick with Gail and Steve for this next question. They're both in a unique position as to, now they're both on the NWBA board of directors. Steve's been on for a few years now, and Gail actually just came on in like the last few weeks or so, I believe. And so it's something that we love to see at U of I. One of the things that we're always talking about is, you know, it's our responsibility to give back to the sport once we leave the university. And so what are some of the things that you learned here at U of I during your experience that prepared you to go on to a board position with the NWBA? Gail, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was afraid you were going to steal my thunder, Steph, so I'm glad you didn't take this phrase. At U of I, there's a common phrase that you want to leave the program better than when you came into it. So that's kind of what I've been kind of trying to take now throughout my life. So, you know, with my job, and then now with the NWBA, you know, the NWBA has given me so much throughout my life. And so anything I can do to, you know, make it better or help it grow is something I want to be involved in. And, you know, some of the things that I learned at U of I was, the biggest thing was the leadership skills on how to be a leader. And, you know, from that, I've been able to apply it in every single part of my life. So whether that's socially, whether that's at my career, or whether that's now with the NWBA. And, you know, I think it's going to, the things I've learned really set me up to become, you know, a great board member and to be able to help grow the sport of wheelchair basketball.
So Gail, can you talk a little bit about what your position is with the board? Like, what specifically are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the chairman of the Athlete Advisory Council. And so the chairman and the vice chairman automatically has a board spot, a board member spot. And so I'm kind of the in-between, trying to be the voice of the athletes, that bridge between our board of directors and, you know, our membership, our athletes. And so the NWBA is making a great focus on, you know, being a membership driven organization. And so it's been great to hear feedback from people across all of the NWBA and, you know, being able to share it directly with our decision makers at the National Wheelchair Basketball Association.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. Steve, what about you? You have a position on the NWBA board, but you also hold some leadership positions within the USOPC as well. So can you talk to us a little bit about that and, you know, what you learned that's helped you navigate that space?
Sure. I knew I should have gone before Gail because Gail gave such a great answer. So Gail, great job. We're really happy to have you on the board. You know, not to repeat anybody. So the one thing that I learned at U of I that really has helped me be a successful board member is just the value of teamwork. And I learned at U of I that to accomplish goals that are bigger than yourself, you have to lean on each other. You have to work together and with people from different backgrounds and different experiences and especially different experiences with wheelchair basketball. You know, for me personally, wheelchair basketball has given me everything that I have. And I just feel like it's my responsibility to give back to the sport, kind of like what Gail said. My position on the board of directors, I'm our athlete representative to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So while Gail just talked about being the chairman and being that middleman between the athletes of the NWBA and the board of directors, I'm basically the middleman between our high performance athletes to the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So our priorities are a little bit different, but that doesn't necessarily mean that our goals are different, because I think everybody understands the impact that the NWBA has on individuals, but we also see a world in 5 or 10 years where the NWBA has a bigger reach and a greater impact, especially here in the States. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. And I will be transitioning out of the board of directors in about 6 months. But hopefully I can look back, like Gail said, and leave the NWBA in a better position than when I found it.
Absolutely loving these answers. And I know that Mo is listening and loves these answers as well. It's, Mama Mo of our program that is our athletic director for adaptive athletics, knows, and we kind of all represent that when you come to Illinois, you're joining a family. And because of the history that we have here in this program, since its start in the late 40s, is that you are joining something that is bigger than yourself. And I think we all feel that and carry that with us. And what we do is that we know that whatever we're going to do, we want to make our sport and things that are around us that much better. So love these answers and appreciate all you guys and your work. Now that we're going to jump away from Gail and Steve and give Helen and Ryan an opportunity to answer another question, I want to talk a little bit about the extracurricular activities that are available to students that are on campus here at Illinois and what your experiences are with the extracurriculars, and maybe a little bit of just like how it enhanced your experience and what you ultimately learned from them. Let's start with Helen.
Yeah, so I joined a lot of extracurricular activities actually. I think, you do basketball, lifting for 3-4 hours a day, but there's a whole, there's 24 hours in a day and you've got to fill it with some other great stuff. So one of my favorite things that I did was join student alumni ambassadors. As an international athlete, I really wanted to do something that was quite American, and they basically organize everything to do with homecoming, things in the community, and obviously it doesn't get more American than homecoming. So and they did a lot with lobbying for funding, so that was really interesting for me. What other things did I do? I was involved with a club called International Alumni. There's a massive international community at Illinois, and there's a lot of focus on bridging cultural gaps and encouraging relations between Americans and international students. So that was really fun for me. And the other big thing I did was help with research. There's a lot of cutting edge research that goes on, and you can be a part of that, be a part of pilot studies, get your name on studies. And so I guess that was one of the other big things that I did. I guess like the main benefits are that you can meet a lot of new friends, gain confidence in other areas. But probably the biggest thing is it helps you build an identity outside of basketball. And I think, you need to have that for when you leave basketball, but also, whether you continue with basketball or not, you need to have something else in your life to focus on. Yeah, I guess that's my answer for that one.
Yeah, I wheelchair basketball and just our adaptive sports is its own little small community. So being a part of clubs and doing research and organizations around campus really opens up your eyes of what else is available to you. Love to hear, Ryan, what your experiences are too with things outside of basketball.
Yeah, I thought Helen gave a great answer of she talked about a couple of things that she did, but you come on campus and the first week there's a thing called Quad Day, and there's hundreds of organizations that you can be a part of, and they kind of give their pitch, their elevator pitch, and it can be overwhelming a little bit. But from my experience, I was also a part of some of the research that had gone on at the University of Illinois, and you learn a lot throughout those processes. But I was a part of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and I think one of the things that I recognized was that I really wanted to make an impact in the one thing that I was doing, and to be able to do that, and not be stretched out too far with everything else that's going on. I kind of stuck with that. But what I learned is you have the opportunity in these experiences to become a leader, to join the leadership team or a board. And it doesn't just stop when you're there. Then you get to give back once you leave Illinois. And so I think what it taught me personally is it taught me how to communicate well. I think the extracurriculars can even help with your basketball, because it shows you how to be a part of a team outside of sport. It helps you to relate to other people that maybe aren't you're not all coming from the same background. And how important is that on the floor? You know, a lot of times you may be playing with people, or you may come to college that you've never met in your life. So I think my extracurriculars shaped not only who I am today and how I carry myself, but also it really showed me what it looked like to lead a team and to bring a team together for one goal, one mission, because you're not going to win anything on your own, and you really need to come to together as a collective. So my experiences outside of Illinois and the people that you meet, like I talked about earlier with the network, has really just shaped me into the man that I am today, along with my experience with the wheelchair basketball team.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Helen. One of the things we always talk about here at U of I is that you're here to develop the whole person. You're not just here to develop the basketball player. And I think those two, and both Steve and Gail as well, are really good examples of taking advantage of the opportunities that you do have when you are on campus. And, you know, it is important to step away from basketball at times. Like, you're inundated with being around your teammates all the time, being in the lifting gym often. And so to have that balance in your life while you're here, to be able to be involved in some really cool research projects or other registered student organizations that are on campus, helps you develop some of those other parts of yourselves that then you can bring back to your team and bring back to what you're doing, that once you leave, you know, you're going to be better for and you're going to have grown through. So I think sometimes there's a myth that when you're a student athlete, you don't have time for those things. And I think that all four of these have actually done a really great job of showing that it's not a myth. You can be involved in some extracurricular activities, and in fact, you're going to be better for it if you do. So thank you guys for sharing that. This question's for all four of you guys. As we're thinking about your future careers and kind of where you are, whether you're still in that player mode, training for a national team, training in a professional space, or if you're working in your career of choice at this point, how did being a student athlete here prepare you for that? And you may have touched on this a little bit, but you can also expand on it on more of the academic side as well. So for this question, we're going to start with Helen.
I think for me, currently as a professional player, the way the program's set up in terms of setting you up as a basketball player is there's a big focus on critical thinking skills. So our coaches will ask a lot of questions, you know, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I think when you become a professional player, that's really important because, you know, the game develops so fast and you've got to work out a lot of it for yourself. So I think being able to have those skills has really helped me stay with the changes that go on in the game, the international game in particular. Towards my next career, when it happens, I hope that I'll have a bank of transferable skills, and especially as also internships are really encouraged. So I was able to do an internship in my third year, I think, and you know, that's quite common within the program. So I think I was quite lucky to be able to be in a program that has encouraged me, and you know, I've got work experience outside of just playing.
Awesome. Thanks, H. Steve, we're going to move to you.
And now I get to speak after the person with the coolest accent on here. Man, what are you guys doing to me?
Setting you up for failure the whole time, Steve.
I can tell you that being a student athlete for me was the turning point in my life. And it didn't really come down to anything specific. It came down to the aspect that that world challenged me in every aspect that I wanted to be challenged. It challenged me physically. It challenged me mentally. It challenged me emotionally, socially. There's a lot of things pulling you in a lot of different directions when you're at college, and that's the way it should be, because you're kind of exploring yourself while also exploring this new world. And you don't really know what type of person that you'll be once you finish college, especially right when you first get there. But as long as you're open to change and open to certain challenges, I know that you're going to have a positive experience. And while maybe I'm not working in the traditional sense right now, having the platform, working with a Toyota or a Nike to grow, wheelchair basketball specifically, but all of adaptive sports, and having that platform to share my experiences while also sharing the impact that it's had on me personally, that leadership and that responsibility all came from the lessons that I learned at U of I. And I always tell people that I wouldn't be the player I am today without U of I, but more importantly, I wouldn't be the person or the leader that I am. So I'm very grateful for my experience there.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Gail?
Yeah, I think Steve talked a little bit about it earlier on, but I think the teamwork skills directly applies to the professional world. You're going to run into a ton of different types of people at the University of Illinois, and as being a student athlete, you're going to have to work with so many different people. And so the ability to adapt and to learn how to work with those different types of people has set me up greatly in my professional career and kind of working, throughout my company. And then I think the other thing that's kind of really stuck with me and has applied to my professional career as working in healthcare is because the control what you can control. I think that's Illinois' favorite on court and out off the court phrase. And so especially in these times with having COVID and coronavirus, you can't really focus on things that are out of your control. And so if you truly focus on things that you have full control over, it really helps you put you in a mindset and to help you become successful in kind of anything that you do.
Awesome. Thanks, Gail. Ryan?
Yeah, so it was funny. My wife and I were kind of talking about this one because she was a student athlete. She was a soccer player at the University of Illinois. And one of the things that we're recognizing more now more than ever is that there's so many parallels between the student athlete and the professional world. You have to learn to navigate change. Talk about on the basketball court, how quickly you have to navigate like moment to moment, halftime to timeouts, to how are you going to get that homework done in time when you have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to practice. We also talked about that it teaches you how to ask good questions. Helen mentioned that you have to dissect the game at the University of Illinois. We ask why you're doing that. We like the coaches really do a good job of drawing out the reasons why we're doing what we're doing so that it sticks and that we're able to take those skills anywhere that we go in life. And so as a student athlete, I think one of the things that's helped me with my future career is it teaches you how to navigate change. It teaches you how to ask good questions, but I think it also teaches you how to set goals and be driven. You just are different. You're different in the work world because people aren't used to an athlete mindset. And throughout that, I've just really noticed that like the student athlete part of my life has really set me up for success as I've moved both to Team USA and in the professional world.
It's so awesome to hear the success of the four of you, and I know Steph and I and the rest of the Illinois family are proud of everything you're doing both on and off the court. So we really appreciate that. We're gonna start to jump into some questions through Zoom and Facebook from people that are watching, and I think one of the first ones is they'd like you to take a step back and talk a little bit about your experience through juniors or how you were brought into wheelchair basketball, and talk about that transition or progression going from being young in the sport, starting it up, and all the way up until joining us in Illinois and beyond. So let's go. Steve, are you good starting this off?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I got involved with the sport a lot later in my life. I was injured when I was 11 months old, but I didn't start playing wheelchair basketball until I was about 15. So I only had 2 years in juniors before I committed to U of I. To be honest, the biggest change for me was the lifestyle change. It was the very first time I saw a cow when I first stepped onto campus for the first time. And it was just a different lifestyle. It was different interactions with people who were nice and not mean here in New York City. A lot of stuff on the court, it wasn't necessarily different. It was just a lot of new information, different ways to see the game, different experiences with different teammates. And That's what I was kind of looking for. So I never looked at that as a negative or anxious activity or anything. I was just really excited for that opportunity. So for me, the biggest change from juniors to college was the lifestyle, everything away from wheelchair basketball. And like I said, that was an important aspect for me.
Yeah, awesome. Gail, how about you? Talking about your junior experience.
Yeah, I started wheelchair basketball later in life a little bit. I was 13 when I started wheelchair basketball. Beforehand, I wear long leg braces, and I was trying to play, keyword trying, to play able-bodied basketball. And so the switch from able-bodied basketball in braces to wheelchair basketball, it was kind of the first time that I felt free, that I felt fast ever in my life. So that was huge, just with my confidence of my athletic ability. And then I was really lucky to be a part of a phenomenal program, the Bennett Blazers, based out of Baltimore, Maryland. And so, they've breeded, Ryan as well. We were both part of the program, and they have, given opportunities to some of the best athletes in the world. And so being a part of that program and seeing the success of my teammates, I knew I wanted that success. And so from going from juniors to college, I think the biggest change for me was just being all the time about basketball, and being able to balance that want and need to be in the gym all the time to then, trying to stay focused on academics, and then really becoming, growing up in your social aspect of your life.
And Ryan, as a fellow Bennett Blazer, can you give us a little bit of information about how you had your start?
Yeah, so played on the Bennett Blazers. I started when I was 8. Actually played for the Katie's Comets first, and then moved to the Bennett Blazers. But yeah, one of the big things in juniors was to be surrounded with like-minded individuals is always the key to success in a lot of different areas. I would recommend that to anyone. If you can get around good people, normally good things happen. But I think the transition from juniors to college, the biggest thing for me was I was training every day in juniors, but it was by myself when I wanted to during the time that I wanted to. And at the University of Illinois and at any college, you're practicing every day, and you're practicing early in the morning, and you have mandatory lifts, and then you have to be at class, because if you're not, coach is going to find out and you're in big trouble. And so there's just a lot more demand from, and you have to take control of that. So I would say it's the first time in your life that you own your life and you get to make every decision possible. And that will either help you or that will harm you. And that really helped me grow up really fast. So I would just say ownership is probably the word that comes to mind of the biggest change between juniors and college. And it really helps you decide what you love and what you want to do moving forward.
Great. And Helen, what would be how you describe your experience going through the start of playing with wheelchair basketball from your experience in Great Britain?
Yeah, so I was quite lucky. I played with a junior team in London called the London Titans, and they do a great job of developing athletes from 7 to 18. So I came through that program. They say the biggest differences for me coming to college, I think probably I was very much fresh off the boat English, so yeah, a little bit of culture shock when I first moved. And as far as basketball side, I played a lot of scrimmage style basketball back home, so I think I was quite instinctive as a player, and just kind of learning why I was doing certain things and how to make people better around me, and that kind of thing was probably the biggest jump I made in my first year.
Awesome. Thanks. Those are really great examples of players who have had different starting points within juniors, teams and programs, and how that that's brought them to where they are now. Can't say enough about just how important it is, the strength of our juniors program and the strength of our juniors teams, and how they allow us as college programs to be able to do our jobs well. So huge shout out to all of our juniors programs and coaches and directors putting in the work with our young athletes. I think we have two questions here that are kind of similar, that I think are really important, especially right now, as we're, in a time where we haven't had a lot of choice about what we've been able to do. Basketball has been something that I think has become secondary, and we're not used to having that. And this question kind of revolves around just balance and mental health. And so, just to give a little context, a lot of times, when you're dedicated to high performance and competition, it often requires you to give up time with your family and with your friends, and you have a bit less of a social life than you would if you didn't have these high performance goals and aspirations. And so, what advice would you give to young athletes who are on this path so that they can also make sure they're having a balance in their mental health? I think this is something that is an awesome thing that we're talking about more in sport now. And it's so important because we are whole people, right? We're not just robots. And so, any of you that feel comfortable, I'd love to hear what you guys think about, if you've had to take a break from mental health, or what do you do to ensure that that's a big part of your training, so to speak?
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. I think in these times, what I've found more than anything is it's a pause in our lives. And for me personally, it magnifies a lot of maybe my weaknesses, because the things that I maybe could hide before, I can't hide anymore. And you either have to address them head on, or they really become like even more of an issue. And so for me personally, I think continuing to journal was one of the big things, to reflect, rather than just trying to move forward and move to the next thing. Everybody says like have structure and map your days out, and that's really important to be able to maximize your days. But sometimes we need to like look back before we can look forward. And so for me, I think a lot of times the best way for me to do that is to write, because I have to think about what I'm going to write before I can actually do that. Other people like to talk to other people, and Zoom's a great platform for that as well, or your teammates. But I just think everybody struggles with different things in their lives. And for me, I've really found journaling to be really helpful. And then figuring out, it can be daunting because there's so many things that you can change, and there's so many things that can happen in this moment. But I would really just say to whoever's dealing with that, try to pick like one thing that you really want to focus on. And then find 4 things that you can use, 4 different buckets that you can get better at to help with that one thing, or to help you cope with that one thing. And then finally, like truly believe that it's possible, and that like with the right help, you can get through it. And those are the things in my life that have really helped me in this time, push forward and move forward outside of basketball, because this time really allows you to stop, reflect, and push pause for a little bit.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. Anybody else want to jump in on that question?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it, Gail.
All right, cool. I think mental health is a pretty big topic right now, especially in the sports world, because as athletes, you kind of sometimes only know one thing, and that's sports, and your life revolves around it. And now, sports have been put on hold. And so I think one thing, and, this is kind of applied with me while I stopped playing, international basketball, was to surround yourself with great people, and to surround yourself with people that are going to push you. So I've made it a note to stay in touch with the people that have pushed me. So, my old coach Steph, like always keeping in contact with her. I talk to my teammates. Some of my best friends in my life right now were athletes in other sports at the University of Illinois. And so they kind of had that same mindset, and they pushed me to become a better person, and to also, take time outside of your sport, and learn about yourself. Like, what are you going to be without basketball? And so, that's a scary thought but it's something that, you know, is natural and healthy, and is something that you should be looking forward to and excited about, because the things that you learn from Illinois, you know, will help you become successful, you know, as a person.
Thanks, Gail. Steve, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, just to put a fine point on it. You know, I've spoken out a few times over the course of the last couple of months about you know, how much I was struggling with COVID in New York City, especially, but how much I was struggling with the postponement of the 2021 games. You know, as an athlete, and this is something I learned at U of I, as an athlete, you work hard, you focus on the things that you can control, and you learn from them and you grow from them. And even if it's a loss or a negative experience, I feel like I am well equipped to deal with that personally, but I'm not equipped to deal with uncertainty. And I think a big part of mental health is learning to be okay with not being okay during uncertain times. You know, I think that one of the reasons why I've had some success on the court is because I'm able to control a number of different aspects of that experience, whether that's the amount of work that I can put in, how I can interact with the game. But during an uncertain time and having these games, which will more than likely be my last Paralympic Games, be postponed, I just did not know how to deal with that mentally. And I kind of had to go through a grieving process. And it wasn't until I realized that, you know, it's okay to not be okay certain times, and it's okay to lean on others and your friends and your family, and ask for help once in a while. That's when I kind of learned a lot about myself, but also grew as a person. So it's okay to not be okay 100% of the time, and to acknowledge that, I think, is a big step towards being a mentally more healthy person.
Absolutely. H, I see you unmuted yourself. Do you have something to wrap that up?
Yeah, just to finish it off, I think the biggest thing you can do with your teams is just to normalize it. Like, mental health happens, you know, and among every elite team, among every club team, every community team. So the more that you can talk about it with your teammates, your athletes, you know, the more that we can make progress as a sport.
Thanks, guys, for sharing that. I'm sure many that are watching through Zoom and on Facebook are kind of feeling the same way in some capacity. So appreciate you guys sharing that. What we're going to do is we've got a fun question from an alumni from class of 74 that is very interested in your favorite pizza place on campus. But I also want to add to this. I want to mix it up a little bit. So we're going pizza place or like favorite food spot. Your favorite late night meal, place you got to go to late hours, or what is your go-to study place on campus? What was that study location? So who wants to take one of those?
This question scares me.
I mean, I'll jump in and just be the controversial figure.
Steve's might not be there anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I had a little bit of problems thinking about a late night place that I would go eat. I will say that Chicago pizza sucks, and come at me because it's just awful. Like, I'm not even apologizing for it. So all pizza places on campus, just don't even waste your time. I will say that I guess because all the food places are probably closed, my favorite place to study was actually anywhere that wasn't my home or my gym, because you know, I could never focus at home, and I could never focus when I had my mind focused on, you know, basketball or anything like that. So it wasn't one specific place, but it was anywhere that wasn't those two places.
I'll be the one that talks about the pizza. I'm an East Coast girl, but I do enjoy a good Chicago style pizza. So my favorite pizza was Papa Del's on campus. Really good deep dish pizza spot. And then yeah, I would say late night would be, they had this like you know, breakfast food truck I'm blanking the name on it actually, but they had
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And so they had good breakfast burritos that, you know, you kind of go and get one after you're studying. And then also another great place, and I'm sure Ryan and Helen will talk about it too, is the best place to study is the Irwin Academic Center. It's an athlete, kind of an athlete library. So, you know, everyone from the football team to the men's basketball team to the soccer team, all really had access to this athlete library. And it was a great spot to not only new people, which I'm sure my coaches didn't like to hear as I'm supposed to be studying there, but you know, I met a ton of great people and met people who had similar schedules to me. So they would have to study at odd times, just like myself. And so, yeah, that was one of my favorite spots to study.
Yeah, I would definitely echo. Irwin was definitely a great place just for resources. It had free tutoring. It had free printing, which was huge. I mean, as a college student, anything you get for free, you take, you know, anything you get for free, you take. But I would say that I was someone that it stressed me out to be around people that were like just so quiet while they were studying, because I didn't need any more stress in my life in that time. So I like to go to coffee shops too, and there's plenty of them on the University of Illinois. I think there's like, I mean, I didn't just go to Starbucks, but there's probably like 7 Starbucks on campus. So you could definitely find a spot to get your beverage of choice in that aspect. And Papa Del's is my favorite pizza place as well.
You guys are killing Steve.
I mean, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit when you guys talked about Papa Del's. So, and I was just gonna say, Steph, you came up with the name of that breakfast truck pretty quick. I mean, that's cool that you're still, you know, getting out there late nights. It's awesome.
No, they're at the farmer's market on Saturday mornings.
Oh, okay, that's convenient. Very convenient stuff.
What do you got for us, Helen?
My favorite place to study was a place called the Ike. It has this great computer labs that you can do, and it's this perfect triangle of cafeteria, study area, and snacks upstairs. So everything was close by. I could get whatever I needed. I'm not up to date with my pizzerias, so I'm going to pass on that question. Sorry.
Awesome. These are some good memories being brought back and places on campus that you guys went. We've got one question. All of you have played internationally at some point in your career, and we've all had that kind of first experience of putting on the jersey with our country's letters on front, and that, you know, invokes a certain feeling and experience. So can you guys speak a little bit about what your first experience was, whether it was with Team USA or Team GB, just what that felt like for you?
I remember my first tryout ever in 2013. I think Steve was on my team, and we were Matt Scott was coming down the floor, and he's coming pretty fast. And I'm used to being one of the fastest guys on the floor in juniors. So all of a sudden he's coming full speed, and Steve's like, "Dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. Like you better get going." And all of a sudden I'm like staring, and Matt is like, "We're going to the basket." But no, just to be a part of a history of not, you represent your country, but you're just so many people, like great players that have been before you. It's a humbling experience, and it's something that never gets old ever.
Yeah, just to echo what Rye said, you know, being able to wear those 3 letters has been the pinnacle of my journey, and it's an experience unlike any other. I actually don't remember the very first time I put on a USA jersey, but I'll speak to the very first time I walked into opening ceremonies at a Paralympic Games, and you're dressed to the nines in those kind of cool but kind of weird Ralph Lauren opening ceremony outfits, and you know, you're with all of your teammates from all different sports, all different regions of the country, and then your country gets announced and you walk in, and then, the crowd just erupts. It was a moment that still gives me chills to this day. I still think about it, sometimes to motivate myself before workouts. And, it's an experience unlike any other. So being a part of a national team, whether that's Team USA, Team GB, or what have you, it's a truly special experience for any athlete.
Yeah, Steve kind of stole my thunder on that one. I was going to talk about kind of the opening ceremonies and just that feeling. But I think another really cool, start or really cool emotion that you feel is that when your national anthem is played on a worldwide stage. And, I've had the opportunity of starting when I was really young, of going to like friendly tournaments in Japan and playing some of the best players in the world to then becoming a co-captain on the 2016 team. And so, everyone, whether, you're from GB or from Team USA, hearing your national anthem and knowing that you're representing your country at that moment and kind of all eyes are on you, it is a phenomenal experience. And then, just another fun fact, my first tryout, Steph actually was playing at the time. And so, it was great to see her in action. And, I like to say I took her to school, but she won't probably say that too.
Absolutely not. H, you have a little bit different experience. I mean, you got to compete in a home Paralympics, so
yeah, I was gonna say I
couldn't
couldn't pick the Rio ones because you guys knocked us out. So
and that was a good game. That was an incredible game. You played lights out.
Yeah, I guess like there's nothing quite, I've never experienced anything quite like it. I think, as a Paralympic sport, we're always aiming to have some kind of parity of experience, and I think that was the closest I've got. Like full stadiums, everyone cheering for you, people cheering your name. And just, it's not often that you can have all your family and friends watching. So I think whatever I go on to achieve or not achieve, I think probably London Paralympics is going to be always up there for me as highlight, really.
Okay, so we are kind of wrapping up with our time here. So before we kind of do some closing remarks and things like that, we talked about a Alumni giveaway. So I want to do the Alumni giveaway, and then I will swing it over to Steph to wrap us up here. So if we could do a little, drum roll action, and our winner for it is Arthur Johnson. Arthur Johnson, congratulations. You are the winner for our Alumni giveaway. So we will be in contact with you, and we've got something heading your way. Again, for me, thank you to everybody that's been viewing for this whole week, individual camp, premier camp, coaching clinics, and everyone attending here on Zoom and Facebook. And with that, I will send it to Steph.
To echo what Matt said, first we want to thank the four of you for taking time out of your day to come back and give back to us. And I think, we were all kind of wondering how camps were going to go when we couldn't all be in person. And I think one of the things that I didn't think about was how it could be better and how it could evolve, and what are the things that we could do differently that we normally can't do at our camp. And this is something that we normally can't do at our camp because you guys have such wonderful, full, busy lives. And so this has been one of the things that I've been super excited about, and it's just been really cool to have the opportunity to have the four of you come back, come home, and be a part of camp. I think H and I were joking earlier how this is, I think, the first camp she's ever been able to come to, just because being home in GB for the summers and couldn't get back. So again, thank you to the four of you for taking time out of your day. We really appreciate it. Love seeing all of your faces. And thank you to everyone, just to echo what Matt said. We've thoroughly enjoyed interacting with you the best that we can this week. We've got more coming for you in the future with webinars and instructional videos and such that we can use to give back during this time when, again, we can't all come together. So look for the recordings of these coming out in a week or so, and then keep an eye on our social media because we're going to have more content moving forward and more access to our program. So if you ever need anything, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us through social media or email, and hopefully we'll see you all down the road. Thanks again.